As reactions continue to pour in during this very tumultuous time in American politics, we want to check in right now with our Fox 2 political team, Hancock and Kelly.
They are standing by live right now with host Andy Banker with an eye toward how things are going to play out in the coming days and weeks on the way to November. Andy?
Mandy Elliott, we've got Republican consultant John Hancock on the right, Michael Kelly on the left. Michael, let's start with you. The way this unfolded or unraveled over the weekend, what do you think about how it was handled? Is it a first step toward victory for Democrats in November or a step backwards toward defeat?
Well, it's the first sigh of relief we've had in a couple of weeks since the debate performance of President Biden. Then we saw the convention performance of Donald Trump, and it clearly became clear to us that we still had a chance to win this race. The changes being made now, I think this puts Democrats in a spot that we actually have a chance to win this race.
You agree with that, John?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Was it clumsy or was it smooth?
One of the three of us predicted a year ago that Biden wasn't going to be the nominee, and it was just a matter of time. I think they're a little late making the change. Here's what we know about Kamala Harris, if in fact she is the nominee, and I think she will be. She ran for president in 2020. Her campaign ended in 2019. She's not a very good candidate. Now, maybe they've put her through the school and she's ready to roll here, but I don't know that she's the best candidate they could field against Donald Trump. Is she better than Joe Biden? It's a low bar, and I think the answer is yes.
Well, here's something you don't really think about is like what's next in terms of delegates. I talked to a delegate to the Democrat convention from St. Louis County and a candidate for state rep tonight about what they see coming. Are they behind Kamala Harris as Joe Biden's replacement? Take a listen.
I mean, it still is an open process. President Biden put his support behind Kamala Harris, but that does not mean she's going to be the nominee. But I believe there is a tremendous groundswell of support for her.
I think Kamala is a terrific candidate. If that's who Democrats and the delegates choose in Chicago, then I'm behind her.
They were huddled at the St. Louis County Democrat election headquarters. This is from former President Barack Obama. I have extraordinary confidence that the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges. That's it. Nothing more committal from him. Should there be? Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer,
Well, these people are
J.B. Pritzker, none of them saying
yeah, but
we're
they're the
behind
leaders
Kamala.
of the Democratic Party. They have to listen to their constituents, their members, allow them to express themselves. Look, you're watching a beautifully orchestrated play right now, Andy, and it's happening very slowly. Everybody's getting in line. The process is happening before your eyes, and I think before this is said, by the end of this week, we will know that Kamala Harris is the Democratic nominee.
John?
Here's what's interesting. These conventions, 3,500 people are wearing donkey hats and waving placards. They actually could make a difference here. And you're talking about grassroots activists who have the potential to select their party's presidential nominee. I don't think this is a done deal yet. I suspect Harris will be the nominee, but I don't think that case is closed.
GOP VP nominee J.D. Vance is among those saying Biden should get out. If he can't run for president, he shouldn't finish his term.
He's the president. He was elected. He says he's going to serve till his term's over. That's it.
John,
I don't get this GOP talking point. Why are we saying that we want to make Kamala Harris president? That makes no sense to me. She puts her in a much stronger position against Donald Trump. We should want Joe Biden to stay in that office and remind us all of why we don't like it.
Hancock Kelly, John and Michael, thank you. Mandy Elliott, back to you.
All right. Thanks, Andy. As this story continues to develop, be sure to stay with Fox 2 and FoxNow.com for the latest reaction and ramification from the president's decision.